Now, what makes Memphis an attractive city for people who are outside of the city and looking at it? I know you touched on FedEx, being one of the larger employees here. What are some of the other attractions to investing here locally?
I will always point out St. Jude, the medical area that's near the medical school. They're putting a lot of money in there to build that area up, and I also point out not just FedEx is here. You got AutoZone, International Paper, other major employers here, the Atropolis area. So, and then you go downtown and you look at the river and Beale Street. There's so many gyms around the city that I think people here don't even recognize all the time.
Okay, well, great. So there are lots of attractions for people as far as business, employment, as in addition to some of the social sites that are around that people can take advantage of. A lot of different cultures and history that's tied to the city of Memphis that people would want to take advantage of as well. Now, I'm going to maybe ask you some questions. Here's some people who are out of town. Do they have any apprehensions about investing long range, and how does your company help them bridge that gap?
Well, I would say no. We definitely have people here throughout the week. Every week, I actually have a group of 10 that came in tonight. Half are from Australia, the other half is from California, and I believe they're a little hesitant because it's the unknown. But once they spend a day with me and I show them around Memphis, and I start building that relationship, and I think that is really is key. That makes them feel really, really comfortable. And that's one of the things I say that sets Memphis CashFlow apart from all of the other turnkey real estate investment companies here in Memphis, is that the expertise of our team and the relationships that we build is why they start to invest, and then they go tell all their friends and family to start investing in Memphis and go to Memphis CashFlow.
That's great. I mean, there's nothing like solid word-of-mouth testimonies from people who have had a real experience with your company. And so these people are traveling as far away from Australia to come to Memphis, Tennessee to invest, and they're coming in groups. So, with a group of 10, let me just ask, this is my own curiosity here. Out of a group of 10, let's say you take them around the city. I don't know how many days you do this. Is it, it could be one day, could be a week?
It's a whole day, which will start from at 8, and sometimes it goes to 9 at night, and then it could also go over 2 days. It just depends on how many properties that we have to show.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with real estate tours. I've been on them myself, and they can, stretch out pretty long because people are, they're traveling from property to property, looking at lots of things. Sometimes it, involves sitting down and looking at numbers and figures and everything like that. Now, do any of them buy, when they come to the city, or do they have to go back and do due diligence, and, how does that process work?
Now, for our foreign investors, if they already have their LLC and bank account set up, they can buy immediately. Okay. So a lot of them, if they don't buy, it's that reason, but they buy later. They may not buy the day that they see the property, but it could be a month or 2 months later, and they're looking at the website, and then they tell me, hey, I want that property. They already have started building that relationship with me and our team, but also they feel comfortable with Memphis. So after that, it's just the numbers. But for the most part, we have I would say about half that they buy when they're here. They put contracts on houses.
That's a pretty good number. That's really a huge number, 50%. That's awesome.
We're a small group now. We have 30. The numbers go down. But when we have a tour and it's buyers that are here to buy, they're going to buy.
Yes. All right. So now, how long does it take to rent a property after they bought it? Because I'm sure what they're doing is they're buying this property for investment property, in some cases, and they want to achieve returns over time. Others, I'm sure, would like to turn the properties rather quickly. But let's say a person is going to hold this property for a while, and how long does it take you to get a qualified tenant in the property so that they are actually achieving some results from their investment?
That is going to, it varies. It depends on the time of the year,
Okay.
and it also depends on the property. We've had properties where we get a tenant before the rehab is even done.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, we tell them that there is an 8% vacancy rate. So it could range from a month to 3 months on average.
Okay. All right.
And I always like to give the worst case scenario. So, but I see within 6 weeks we usually have a qualified tenant.
All right. Now, how can you find these properties? Because, you know, you can get some people, Natasha, and they can say, well, I can't find anything to buy. So how do you find them? How you know, what advantages does your company have that is able to locate these properties? And I'm not just talking about any property, as you're saying. You're talking about the actual cash-flowing gems out there. So how do they find them?
Well, one good thing is that the president of Memphis CashFlow, Gregory, he has built relationships with banks, with other real estate agents, and other investors. And a lot of deals, they come to us, and he decides if it's a good deal or not. So it's not, we do seek them through foreclosures, but we go to auctions. But a lot of deals come to us.
Okay, so over time where you've built a reputation and you've built relationships with people, and, you know, almost any business that you have, it comes down to building relationships. Would you say that's pretty accurate? Okay.
Oh, that is key.
All right. I know that you're a growth coach too. So do you have any tips on helping people to build the kind of relationships that will, you know, foster growth in their business and particularly in real estate investing?
Well, one is they got to get out there and network, but have the right approach to networking. One book I like to recommend to a lot of people when they're definitely trying to grow a business is The Go-Giver. And not being a selfish networker, and think how you can help other people. And it is proven over and over again, if you take on that attitude, it will come back to you.
Yeah, you know, there's a quote from Dale Carnegie. It says, the only way on earth to influence the other fellow is to talk about what he wants and show him how to get it. Mm-hmm. So if you are out there really giving, you know, it comes back to you in so many different ways, and that's really the key to networking and to building relationships. So now you have about 1 to 3 months on the average to rent these properties out, and you are finding them through building relationships, association with banks, and then you have sort of a pool of people out there that you've been working with and have established relationships so that they're actually bringing you these deals because you've helped them in the past and there's mutual benefit from them. So that's great. Now, when I get a property, so let's say I'm investor A, and I've come to you and I've bought a property, but this property is not ready to rent. And I live out of town. I'm in Australia. I'm in California. I can't manage the rehab on that. What do I do?
Well, if you're going through Memphis CashFlow, we have a property management company called Marathon Management. We take care of all that for you. We will find the tenant. All you need to do is send us the management agreement with your signature, and we make electronic deposits into your banking account. We make it really, really easy for people to invest.
So you've got almost...
Really,
Go ahead.
I know. I said we take care of everything. That's why we are a complete turnkey, and we do it with high quality.
Okay, so you know this is almost like it's just you know you're giving people a real estate ATM machine.
I've never heard it described like that, but I do like that analogy. I may steal that from you.
Hey, feel free to do it if it helps you. But hey, this gives me an opportunity to be a go-giver, right? So
exactly.
If you can use that to further advance your career, then by all means use it. Okay. I've actually found it to be very applicable to a lot of things that I do, and so I use the term in different ways, but that's kind of how I see it. I mean, that's a good term even for information marketing, because it's basically what you create is an ATM machine, and people need to really get that, and that's one of the reasons why we bring this kind of material to people, this information, and have guests like you on the show so that you can show people how the knowledge that you've gained, and that's really what you're being paid for, isn't it, Natasha? It's the knowledge that you've gained and that experience that you're able to take out to the marketplace in a very organized way and a very professional way that commends itself to people who are seeking that knowledge to get from point A to point B.
That's cool.
And that's a great thing.